Hey guys, before we get into the video, I just want to let you know that I recorded this and wrote the script for this a few months ago, and it has came to my knowledge that a new roadmap for Pagan Online has been released, and one of those patches to begin that roadmap launches literally a few days after this video goes live, and it's basically revamping the entire loot crafting system and everything in the game. So what I'll end up doing is I'll leave this video up for my initial impressions of Pagan Online when it began, and then I'll do another impressions video after the patch goes live, and we'll kind of talk about what has changed, and I'll do videos and the like on that stuff. But I did want to upload this video because this is my initial impressions back when the game first came out, so I hope you enjoy it. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to LOOTastic and to another new loot video. Today we are going to be talking about the new early access hack and slash action RPG Pagan Online. What it is, how the loot fares, and my general opinion. Let's get into it. Pagan Online is not a Diablo clone. It is an action RPG with loot and skills and such, but it's nothing like Diablo or Path of Exile. It's something completely different, and some people might not like that. When it comes to action RPGs, in my opinion, Diablo and Diablo clones do it right. The reason why there are so many quote-unquote clones of Diablo is because Blizzard mastered the loot-based game. They are ultimately the founders of the genre. Diablo mechanics and those like it are very good, and that's why they are used so frequently in other ARPGs. When you take those out, or try to develop new ARPG systems for a new game, people tend to have mixed reactions because we are so used to how Diablo systems and those like it work. Now, I'm not saying everything has to be Diablo to be good, but there's a reason Diablo is and was so popular. Trying to invent new ways to play the action RPG genre is great, but Pagan Online's different ideas and systems push me away from the game rather than pull me in and keep me addicted. In Pagan Online, you play as a character. There are 8 in total, but once you pick one, you are stuck with that character until you grind out the game to get enough shards to unlock another character. Each character has a set of skills that unlock as you level up, and each character has their own playstyle and their own weapon. There's no speccing a character to be a tank or a long range. If you want to play as a tank, then you pick who I did, Istok. Basically Thor, a big guy with a giant electric hammer. That being said, I picked him because he looked cool, not because I wanted to be stuck with tank-only gameplay. I had no idea that skills weren't customizable beyond damage bonuses, or that I wouldn't be able to go back and choose a new character until I played a ton of hours with my first one. Pagan Online takes the Anthem route for loot, minus the microtransactions, for now. In Pagan Online, the only thing that visually changes your character is your equipped weapon. The other character slots are 2 amulets, 2 rings, a tome, a ward, and a charm, all of which obviously don't change how you look because they are just jewelry and trinkets. On LOOTastic, I've talked about before how visual customization needs to be attached to loot that you pick up and how important that is for a loot game to have. It increases game life and longevity and keeps the player coming back for more and more. Visual customization and visual progression is a simple concept, but it's bigger than you might think. Look at loot games right now. Diablo has tons of visual progression and customization with every piece of loot you pick up. Destiny does a fantastic job of making you look and feel like a space wizard. Borderlands loot is all about guns, and each and every gun in their millions of guns filled loot pool is vastly different. Players want to get new gear to increase their power for sure, but we also want to see all the different visual changes to our character and how we can personalize ourselves in game. Pagan Online sells armor skins and armor recolors for gold. You pick up gold in the game, and right now there is no way to purchase gold with real-world cash. There's also no way to purchase the character shards that you need to unlock new characters, But I have a feeling these either used to be microtransaction schemes or they will become them once the game is out of early access. It's a very slippery slope, but for now everything can only be acquired in-game and it is super grindy. Back to the loot. The rarities in Pagan Online are base, magic, rare, epic, and legendary, the colors tied to each rarity being gray, green, blue, purple, and orange. There's also crafting materials of each rarity that drop from slain enemies, but only base and magic, actual loot, can drop from enemies and bosses. Rare, epic, and legendary items have to be crafted with Pagan Online's crafting system, which honestly is pretty neat. It just sucks that really what you are hoping to have drop is high-tier crafting materials and blueprints. The game becomes just looking for crafting supplies instead of the actual loot. Kind of a strange system if you ask me. It doesn't seem well balanced. 2 hours into the game you're already solely looking for crafting supplies so you can craft new gear once you get back to the hub area. You have your typical stats applied to gear like all the other action RPGs, strength, intelligence, dexterity, yada yada, that's all there like you'd expect, nothing crazy different. When you're crafting, you gain crafting XP, and each crafting level you achieve, your subsequent crafting gets better with increased stats on items and so on and so forth. You craft now, so you can craft better items later on. I ended up just willy-nilly crafting items I didn't need so I could up my crafting level, since I figured that would be an endgame thing. Although the crafting animation looks dope, it's not necessarily fun. That covers it for the loot in Pagan Online. Now, really quick, I'm going to share with you some other things about the game that you may want to know if you are on the fence about this game. Unlike every other action RPG known to mankind, you use WASD to move, which is odd, but it works, I guess. The locations you play in are super linear, and you don't walk from place to place like in Diablo. Once you finish an instance, which Pagan Online calls battles, you teleport back to the hub world before you set off on another super linear mission. Missions play out in waves. You walk for a bit, following an arrow, then the area gets locked off and you have to fight waves of enemies that spawn out of the ground before you can move on to the next area and inevitably do the same thing. Sometimes a random elite enemy shows up that you have to kill, and sometimes there's a big chest that will open if you complete the final wave in time. That's about it. The visuals and effects look amazing. Kind of has a Torchlight mixed with Diablo vibe to it, which was ultimately the reason I took a chance with Pagan Online. It just visually looks so damn good. The game runs very well too. I had a small amount of frame rate issues while recording gameplay and playing at the same time, but that's just because my PC isn't the best. There is a long campaign story in the game, but I have no idea what's actually happening. And with that, I'll leave you with a rendition of a previous sentence that I already said in this video. Although the visuals, animation art, and effects in Pagan Online are dope, it's not necessarily fun. As always, this video is brought to you by LOOTastic, where you get all the legendary loot news and info free of charge, no grind or limbs required. Like the video for a giant electric hammer, and subscribe for a Destiny update that doesn't suck. Until next time, happy looting.